Imagine this. You're standing in a library that contains every book ever written, every scientific paper, every philosophical treatise accessible instantly, for free, with answers tailored to your exact question. And yet, somehow, you feel less capable of thinking for yourself. You hesitate before forming an opinion. You double check simple facts you once knew by heart. You accept the first plausible answer an algorithm offers, not because it's right, but because it is. This is the paradox of intelligence in the age of artificial intelligence. We have never had more knowledge at our fingertips, yet we seem to be losing something essential: the muscle of critical thought, the stamina for deep focus, the courage to sit with uncertainty. Which raises a troubling question. Is AI quietly engineering a new kind of inequality, not economic, but cognitive? A modern Matthew effect, where those who already think well grow sharper through AI, while the rest drift into intellectual dependency? The original Matthew effect comes from a biblical parable. For to everyone who has, more will be given. But from him who has not, even what he has will be taken away. In sociology and economics, it describes how advantage compounds wealth, begets wealth, opportunity attracts opportunity. But what if this dynamic now operates inside our minds? In the cognitive realm, the haves are those who treat AI as a collaborator. They interrogate its outputs, cross-reference its claims, use it to test hypotheses or refine arguments. They remain in the driver's seat, with AI as a powerful co-pilot. The Havenites, by contrast, treat AI as an orichalca source of final truth. They copy its essays, trust its medical advice without verification, let it choose their words, their opinions, even their memories. Over time, this passive consumption erodes the very faculties AI was meant to augment. The smart get smarter, the rest grow intellectually brittle. This isn't speculation, it's measurable. Psychologists have long documented the Google effect. When people know information is stored externally, like on a phone or search engine, they're far less likely to encode it into long-term memory. Why remember a fact when you can retrieve it in 0.3 seconds? But memory isn't just storage, it's the scaffold for reasoning. Without a rich internal database of concepts, analogies, and experiences, complex thought becomes impossible. Consider math. Studies show students who rely heavily on calculators from an early age often fail to develop number-sensitive intuitive grasp of quantities and relationships that underpins advanced mathematics. Or writing, with predictive text finishing our sentences and AI drafting our emails, we're losing the rhythm of composition, the struggle that forges clarity. Writing isn't just communication, it's cognition made visible. When we outsource it entirely, we outsource part of our thinking. And so a twotier user landscape emerges. On one side, engineers use AI to debug code they understand. Researchers use it to synthesize literature across disciplines. Artists use it to iterate on ideas they've already wrestled with. Their agency remains intact. AI accelerates their existing intellectual momentum. On the other side, students paste essay prompts into chatbots and submit the output as their own. Professionals accept AI-generated reports without questioning methodology. Citizens absorb AI-curated news summaries without seeking primary sources. Here, judgment is outsourced. Metacognition, the ability to think about one's own thinking, fades. How do you evaluate an argument if you've never constructed one? How do you spot bias if you've never practiced skepticism? The gap isn't just in skill, it's in epistemic posture. One group sees knowledge as something to build, the other sees it as something to receive. This divergence isn't accidental. It's amplified by design. Most AI interfaces prioritize speed, convenience, and confidence. They deliver polished answers with unwavering certainty, rarely admitting uncertainty or inviting scrutiny. There's no "are you sure?" button, no gentle nudge to consider counter-arguments. The incentive structure rewards engagement, not debt, so platforms optimize for satisfying queries quickly, not cultivating wisdom slowly. Meanwhile, our education systems lag decades behind. We still teach students to memorize facts in an age where facts are infinite and instantly accessible, yet we rarely teach them how to inner. Ogate an AI response. Where did this information come from? What assumptions underlie this conclusion? What's missing? Without these literacies, access to AI doesn't empower, it disorients. It hands a scalpel to someone who has never learned anatomy and calls it progress. Of course, this isn't the first time technology has sparked fears of collective dumbing down. Socrates warned that writing would destroy memory and weaken thought, ironic, since we know his ideas only because Plato wrote them down. Critics decried calculators as the end of mathematical rigor. The internet was going to turn us all into distracted dilettantes. Some of those fears were overblown, yes, but not entirely wrong. Writing did change how we remember.